So this is just going to be a little short video on money making. I'm just going to say from the very beginning that this is currently the best way I've found of doing this method on the 18th, Thursday the 18th of June. I will explain in the video. It does change prices on the commodity market, so you do need to keep an eye on that. But as we go through the video, obviously I'll explain where to check and stuff like that. So with this is the method of selling Tritium. As you can see, I use the Inara website. So the best way to do it is obviously come on here. If you've never used it before, it's pretty simple. Load it up, go onto the Galaxy, and then onto commodities. When you go onto the commodities, obviously you can then click on the Tritium from there. To begin with, obviously you want to buy it. Now, personally myself, I ignore all the fleet carriers, and due to doing this in the cutter, I also avoid all small landing pads. So as you can see at the top of the list at the moment, the cheapest place to buy it is HR 5630 at Bufoy Orbital. It is currently, you can buy it for just over £4 grand. So what we will do is go back in game, commodities market, Tritium, and as you can see 792 tons. Works out at 3.24, rounded to the closest 325 million.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
That'll fill that up. Just for those that are interested, the outfitting on this ship. So I'm running no hardpoints. Utility mounts, I've only got 2 heat sinks. Core internals, again it varies how you want to set it up. So I have got the Guardian hybrid power plant, engineered thrusters, dirty drive. I've got grade 5 frameshift drive, recommended if you are going to be travelling the further distances that I'll explain shortly. Basic life support, engine focused power distributor, basic sensors in the fuel tank. Optional internals are then, as you can see, all cargo. Military ones, I've got hull reinforcements just because I'm not running any shields. Yes, I do run an advanced docking computer. I've been playing the game that long now, it's just ease of access. So yeah, okay, I could get another 2 tons of cargo, but is it needed? Not necessarily. As you can see, my top speed and boost speed are pretty decent. And my jump range, fully loaded with 792 tons, does take it down to 20 light years, but as you'll see in a second with how far I'm travelling, isn't really that far. So if I come out of here, I have got it set up, but what we'll do is we'll just go back over to Inara. So once you've found your buy price, ideally what you want to do is take a copy of your station and stick it up here on the top. Search, that'll then refresh it and it'll then give you the best sell prices. Again, from my experience, I would not believe these up here. Yes, it would be nice, 416,000 per ton, but from personal experience, they are never buying for anywhere near that price. So filter out fleet carriers, filter out the small pads. Then as you can see, we're looking at roughly 52.6 thousand a turn. And as you can see, the distances are quite large. Now, with my jump range being reduced down to 20 light years, doesn't really work for me. It's a bit too far. I'd have to fit a fuel scoop. I have got the Guardian frameshift drive booster unlocked, so I could also fit that. So with my current route, I don't go for the best sell. I just go under the normal sell. Again, I turn off fleet carriers and small landing pads. I filter for price rather than distance. Now the station I go to is the Tawanti Wilson Port. As you can see, it's not currently the best. There is one slightly higher, but for all of last night and today, I've been settling for what, 50, 60 credits less than travelling the extra light year distance. So a shorter light year, closer to the star as well, which is a bonus. Get there quicker, less chance of interdiction. You can also see, obviously, these top two have been updated quite recently from people supplying their data. So what we'll do is we'll go back into Elite, go onto our galaxy map. I will just show you as well. So in HR60, you can see this is currently a good way of making money just due to all the fleet carriers in the system. Now, for those experienced players out there, obviously, as you know, the commodities market does change, which is why I say to keep an eye on Inara. I've been doing similar method, different systems, but a similar method now for the past 2 to 3 days, and a certain route probably lasts a day, 2 days at most from experience. As you can see in this system, there's not many fleet carriers here. But yeah, I've plotted my route, so we'll exit out of here, and we'll auto launch due to the advanced docking computer. This method obviously is slightly different. I know low temperature diamonds, the triple hotspots, is also a good way of making money at the moment. Which is better? Tough to say if you don't like mining. Like myself, I'm not the biggest fan of mining. I've been doing this. I did do one trip of mining in, what was I using? I was using a Type 9. As you can see, I'm using the cutter for this purpose as I've got it unlocked. Carries more cargo. Is the auto dock going to kill me? Nope. So I use the Type 9 for mining. In an hour and a half, again, I'm not used to mining. I'm not the best. I'm not going to say I'm the best. I probably was doing it slower than what it could have been done. But in an hour and a half of mining, I made 90 tons of low temperature diamonds and I got 143 million. Now, on average, a return trip, so obviously going to the system to sell the stuff and then coming back to reload, is about a 20-minute journey, I'd say. So in 20 minutes, as you'll see when we get there, I paid 3.25 to fill the ship. I'm roughly going to make 41, again we'll see shortly, but I'm going to make about 41 million minus what I paid to obviously fill the ship. I'm still looking at a 38 million profit in 20 minutes. I'd say they kind of break even. If you're a more experienced miner, obviously you're going to know a quicker way of mining. As I say, probably more quick than I do. Again, I'm not a mining person on Elite. So low temperature diamonds, yes, that's probably the better way. But as I say, for those that don't want to do low temperature diamonds, I'd say this is another pretty good way at the moment of making money. I'm sure if you do go and search YouTube, pop a heatsink, just because I'm too lazy to wait till I'm away from the star. If you search YouTube, I believe there's a method down in Robigo at the moment, making pretty decent money. Obviously there's this method with the Tritium, and as I did mention, you've also got the low temperature diamonds. As you can see, just from doing this myself, chances of interdiction are quite low. Again, I've been doing this certain route since yesterday. I've had the message come up saying, oh look, there's the ship I'm looking for, the one with all the cargo. Everyone knows the usual message. Never actually been interdicted. It's usually just before I make that last jump that I'll get the message, and as you can see, I'm popping a heatsink and jumping quite quickly. So they normally don't get a chance to catch me. You can then see how close Wilson Port is to the sun. Really doesn't take long to get there at all. Fuel usage in the bottom right, as you can see, there's definitely no need for a fuel scoop or an extra fuel tank or anything like that, especially not in the cutter. Obviously if you want to use a smaller ship, your money making is going to be reduced drastically. I have got a friend using a Type 9 at the moment, doing similar routes with me. He's normally making a profit after you take off what you've initially paid. He's still making about 32 mil a trip. Again, it's still costing him around the 3 mil mark to fill up. So again, you're looking at 35, 36 mil minus what he's paid, down to about 32, 33 million profit. So as we slowly come down into Wilson Port, as you can see from the length of the video, this really hasn't taken long to get here. Boost myself in the right direction before I request docking and let the computer take over.
Thank you for choosing our station, Commander. We hope you find everything to your liking.
Ships for this, I've had a friend do it in a Python. I don't think I'd recommend any smaller than a Python, depending on obviously how much money you're looking on making. The last time I was with my friend who's got the Python, we were doing a different route. It was 50 light years between the two systems, and it was taking him 6 jumps. The Type 9 I mentioned, it takes the Type 9 2 jumps to get here, same as it does my cutter. I'm not going to record the return trip because there's no need, but it is only 1 jump for me to get back when I'm not carrying the cargo. But yeah, anything with a decent sort of cargo, so like I say, I know the Python's not a bad cargo vessel. Type 7, I believe, carries the same amount of cargo as the Python. You've then got the Type 9, carries quite a bit. Type 10, although again the Type 9 carries more cargo, so I'd recommend the Type 9 over the Type 10. And then you've got the cutter that I'm in. Could use the clipper, I suppose. Never used it myself. Not 100% sure on how much cargo the clipper can carry. And let the auto dock land. There we go. Always make sure to refuel, repair and restock. Going to Starport Services.
Docking complete. Engaging docking restraints. You are most welcome, Commander.
Commodities market. So as you can see in the bottom right, I'm 3 mil over 2 billion. Go on to sell. As you can see, the current sell price is 51,972, making me 41.16 million selling it all. And as you can now see in the bottom right again, I am now up to 204 billion. Before I started doing this, I was, as I said, I've been doing this for 3-4 days now. When I started, I was just over 1 billion credits. Shows how profitable it is. You're probably looking at, I don't know, 4 to 6 hours a day, sometimes a little bit more than that. I'm not really after a fleet carrier myself, but for those of you that are after a fleet carrier, this may be a very good way of doing it. But as I say, it was just a short video showing you a current money making method I found on Elite Dangerous. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to look out for more content soon.